everyone, it's Tarnished Treasures, and I have a yard sale and flea market haul for you. So I went to the flea market and I specifically was looking for like junk drawer items to add to my crafting stash because I've been on a roll. For $1, I picked up this tin. So these tins were there. They caught my eye for the blue and white. I didn't really need them, but when they're $1, they called my name and I listened. They say made in Holland, Delft, and then there is this one as well. He had a little bin to dig in. I paid for basically all of that stuff $3. Picked up some little fuzzy vintage earrings. This black tin that's empty that will just be perfect base for sculpting. This little sample of lilac, and up front at the market they sell little essential oils, so that's probably where this came from, but this lilac smells wonderful. Some safety pins, and there's a lot of gold ones in there. I use these all the time for crafting at our house. This is a little piece of metal that has an engraving of initials on it. This is very heavy. I think that these are really cool. I don't know what they are. I don't know if they're for stick pins or if they're for sweaters, but they're, you know, kind of faux pearls with some rhinestones. I absolutely love finding things like this. This cast horse little guy is broken off, but I actually like that because then I can put whatever I want on it. And I just did the headless horseman, so who knows, maybe I will add that to the sculpture. There was this box of this little switch. Who knows what I might use this for, but I put it in my pile. This metal brandy tag for a decanter. This pocket watch we couldn't open because it's broken, so I just opened it when I got home. You can see that looks fairly new, especially with the glow-in-the-dark hands, but all of that just feels old. And then even like the chain. This is a jewelry presentation box. I didn't even open it when I was there. I just thought it was cool. And it says Joseph, I think K. Davison's Philadelphia. And what does the middle say? I actually don't, Sons. Oh, okay, there you go. Maybe that's like an and sign right there. It's fading, so it's hard to read. This is most likely a vintage to antique pin cushion, probably like natural materials. It's got silk, that's probably like celluloid. Again, something that was probably going to wind up in the landfill, and I could turn that into something even if I just used the top pieces. And then there was this. You can see how that just appears to be older, and it's this long piece of rhinestone trim, very long. And I didn't think it was a necklace that broke, and it doesn't appear to be. I think that this is just like embellishments for costumes and things. At different stands, some of this stuff, nothing was over $1. It was either free, like these ceramic poodles, and these, which I don't know what they are, so maybe someone could tell me down below, but they're purple and they're mini and I liked them. So those were free. These little earrings, clip-on earrings, were 50 cents with little glass beads and sugar bells. This was 50 cents, and I might add that to my Cleopatra sculpture. This scarab necklace was $1, and sometimes I'll buy stuff like this to use the pieces to craft with, but I actually kind of like it. So I'm going to keep it together. And this bee pin was free. Little charm bracelet was probably $1, maybe even 50 cents. This pin was $1, and I've been doing a lot with mythology, so I thought those symbols would be great for a sculpture. And then I knew that this was one of the World War pins. I have one that's from the first one, and it is sterling. So she's told me $1, and then that does say sterling there on the back. And the last thing that I got at the flea market is this Woolworth spoon that I guess they would have had it at the diner to eat milkshakes or stir up iced teas, and that was $1. So that's everything that I got at the flea market. And then at one of the yard sales today. I spent $5 for all these things. I got 2 gold plastic deer. These orange salt and pepper shakers. The pepper is in really nice shape, and you can see the bottoms are very clean. This little cat holding a ball, and it says Germany. A little celluloid charm. A June angel holding wedding rings. So I am going to stick this in my corner cabinet because there's still a couple days left in June and I have my wedding things out. And today just happens to be my mother's wedding anniversary. So happy anniversary, Mom. I know that you'll be watching. Bone china. Swan. I liked the natural colors on the face. And then I got this paperweight. I will most likely put this out for St. Patrick's Day because it is a horseshoe. And there is gold. And when I was looking at this, I was just drawn to this. I really like this like hefty glass. And I have picked up some things that were right at the turn of the century that look similar to this. So I think that's why I was drawn to it, a very similar look. And when I did look at the back, it says the patent is October 3rd, 1899. So this is pretty old. So that was $5. From the bin of goodies, I found this velvet, and this just needs to be glued down. I don't want to say pin cushion. I want to say this is the sharpener for the pins, strawberry. And I have looked on eBay to buy some of these, and they're pretty expensive and sought after. So when I saw that in the bin, I was very excited. And my favorite thing out of this one yard sale was this mug. And this mug is one that I also have been looking for. I have lots of little Santa mugs, but I don't have any with the stripes on the handle. So that was the first thing that I picked up at the yard sale, and I was so excited. Now, a little, paint issue on the handle. I might even try and repaint a little, but look at his face. It is in such great shape. I went to a community yard sale and I only purchased at 2 houses. It was $2 for this mirror. It's definitely a vintage mirror. I thought that shape was really cool. There is no etching or anything like that, but it's the shape that really stood out. And I will have to get another clip because it looks like the clip is missing from over there if I want to hang it. But I think I'm actually going to be able to just prop this up somewhere in my craft room behind, some sculptures or objects. And it's very lightweight. I don't think it weighs more than 5 pounds. At a different house, I had stopped at this house last year and picked up some really cool older frames, like frames that probably like one of my favorite thrift finds. So I wanted to drive by the house again to see if they had anything, and they did. It looked like, honestly, they just pulled out everything that didn't sell from last year. So this frame was in the pile, and I thought I would pick it up and it might complement the other ones. It was 50 cents, and that's what the back looks like. And I also got a cookbook. This was 50 cents, and it's Adventures in Good Cooking, The Art of Carving in the Home, Famous Recipes, Duncan Hines book. So it looks like this one's probably from the 50s, even though one of the first copyrights says 1939 right there. But the little date says 56. And I guess it's got whoever owned it. But I picked this up because some of the recipes look like they're from people, but other ones right here say Hotel Biltmore. So it's like recipes from some famous places. And then even some of them say like I don't know what her first name is. I can't think of what page it was, but it's like Mrs. Duncan Hines. And I did go to Savers the other day, and I don't think I shared what I purchased, but I did get a couple books. And the books were buy 4, get 1 free. So basically it was like $10 for the 4 books, and I got 1 free. So it works out to be like $2 a book. So I picked up this French book that had like phrases and landmarks. Oh, my neighbor gave these to me for free. Isn't that cover amazing? This was the book that I loved, and I shared it on Instagram. It's called... It's a newer book because you can see that was Scarlett Johansson. Angelina Jolie. Charming, The Magic of Charm Jewelry. And and it goes through the history of it, but there's a lot of stuff about Victorian and just these different chapters, just beautiful. So that's why I picked up some of those, well, that one charm bracelet. I really like this book. Then I got this one, which is folk art, and it's specifically the heart motif in folk art. And I'm really drawn to folk art, the symbols, this idea of like things that are handmade and made from nothing, that you don't have to be, you know, classically trained to be able to make this stuff, and also to appreciate people's creativity throughout time. So that's why I purchased that. I haven't had a chance to, oh, look at that. I have not had a chance to look through this one. I looked through the charm book first, and this might be the last one, I think. This one was called Cooking for Friends, or Food for Friends. Delicious menus for easy entertaining. So there might be some things that I can keto-fy, and sometimes, you know, I do want to try something that's different if we are going to someone's house. The pictures look good. There were a couple keto books there, but they didn't have photos, and I am a person who needs a beautiful photo to look at. I also love the type of cookbooks that do this type of menu, where they're like, for this type of party, like a summer sundown party, this would be, you know, everything that you could kind of put together. Even if I don't make them, I really enjoy reading and looking at them. So $2 a book. Thought that was this was the 5th book, the free book, if you could, you know, however you want to see it. I got this Audubon bird book, or maybe it's National Geographic. I thought that this would be great images for collage. And I do have a bunch of thrifted jewelry to share with you in another video, but I'm sure this one has already close to 15 minutes already.